Good evening, everybody.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, Shajid here. Mr.
Uh,
Tillama's sir was asking me to do some of the topics related with IT in your syllabus. Topics which is already, included in this CMA syllabus. There are different levels. Some of them are very basic things, as well as some of them are very, very modern and latest technologies. Okay, so today we are going through many of them, like a very what the time which the 2 hours is not sufficient to explain all of this thing in very detailed way, because it will also if you explaining everything, it will take maybe 1 week or 2 week course is required for that to explain everything. But still, I'm trying to make it more easily you can understand in a way where you can in your everyday life. Okay, how it will be connecting with your everyday life, or if you're working in an organization, how it will be understandable for you to manage these things. Okay, rather than going to the technical aspects of all of these topics, it be a very, very broad topic. Okay, fine. So anyway,
Yeah, where is this
it's
voice coming?
all of you can hear me, right?
Yeah, yeah, now I can.
yeah,
Before it was continuous.
Okay, so on the screen also you can see the
sorry,
system
Mr. Sam.
development and analysis, data analytics. The screen is showing there. You can see, right?
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, okay, fine. So now, this is the topic where the main chapter heading: systems development and data analytics. Right. From here itself, the system development. In current days or the present business, all the business enterprises are running on technology only. Right. We can't imagine a business environment without a technology, because look, earlier, maybe long time, maybe we are running on only on electricity and some machines and all. Now, without internet, I think most of the, maybe 90% of the works will be disconnected. If there is electricity and there is no internet, that's so the networking or the internet technology also equally important. Okay, so that means the technology is mostly implemented, or mostly people are depending on technology in the modern business environments and all. So that's why every enterprise, they have their own systems. Of course, if you consider the example of a bank have its own banking softwares and special hardwares they are using to keep and preserve data of their customers. So the softwares which they are using, basically starting with user account creation. I mean, if a customer comes, he need to open an account. So this assisting this system to, create an account and to track all of the transaction. They will do some deposit, withdrawals, and a lot of internet transactions and many, many things. Even they are, receiving funds through internet transfer. Many, many other kind of operation they do regularly. So the software which the banks are using to track or keep the data, or managing all of this kind of activities, right? So in any organization, if you go into healthcare, the patients are coming and they will be inquiring something. Maybe initial registration will be there. After that, they will book an appointment, or they will doctor will prescribe medicines and test, and everything will be recorded in and also later, when next time the patient comes to visit the same doctor or any other doctor can easily search the previous records, and we can find out what are the treatments he already done in the past and those kind of things. If you're considering any example, whether it's manufacturing or service industries or whatever business, retail or whatever it is, there is most of them are using some softwares, right? So here we are talking initially when a company or enterprise want to implement some systems or some softwares. Okay, so what are the different types of or what are the stages or what are the different processes included in? That's the first thing called systems development process. Okay, so we'll go to the system development life cycle first, because it's a kind of a continuous process, the system development life cycle. Also, sometimes this is known as software development life cycle. Anyway, systems, it's including software and hardware, because without hardware we can't run a software. So some certain softwares, especially, I told you an example of the banking scenario. So they are using high-end data servers and all for keeping the database of their customers and their confidential informations or financial informations, plus security devices, because these banking details must be saved very safely. So Nobody is allowed to intrude to their network. So they're using a lot of security hardwares as well as softwares, and maybe they will use some different kinds of data backup mechanisms, including backup softwares and hardwares. Okay, so it's a group or a collection of hardware and software is required to to implement a specific system in an organization based on the business, based on the type of functions they are doing. The system will change. That means the hardware and software will change. Okay, anyway, most of the 90% or 99% of these software development stages are same only. So first of all, for example, the startup businesses mostly they may be not using a very complicated software or something. Maybe if someone starting a business, a small scale, even Excel also good for them to do their daily activities. Once the business starts growing, okay, then they will feel some difficulties in managing the business activities using the office applications or the Excel or the small scale applications. Maybe you can buy some ready-made applications for only accounting, or some of them can manage the entire functions like using some kind of small scale ERP softwares and all. Anyway, the systems, okay, system, when you migrating from existing method to a systematic or a computer system or a software system, okay, we need to do a lot of stages are there. Okay, so first of all we need to study, okay, the feasibility, how what are the importance of this one, what are the benefits they are going to get, and how much cost it will include, and when they're migrating from the existing their procedures to the new system, what are the things to be done, and it will affect their daily operations, or it will affect their existing business or something. So there are many things to be considered while we are uh, planning or thinking about implementing a new software or a new system in your organization. Okay, so even when you're thinking and you already got an idea about okay, let's go with system implementation, then still again many stages are there. Like we call it system development life cycle phases. Okay, especially there are seven phases are included in this one. Okay, these are the seven phases. Okay, maybe the based on some different kind of operations or business activities, maybe it might change, okay, a little bit, but still these are the common phases mostly the software developers and software implementation team is following. Okay, first of all, now everything, you are a management accounting student, so you know that mainly the management accounting one of the activities planning, controlling, and decision making, right? So here also we start with the planning. Okay, before we go into give any quotation or proposal, or I mean any kind of contract with any software development or companies, you have to do some. So even uh, as I told you before, we need to do some kind of studies like the feasibility as well as the cost, and how what are the benefits, and what are the risks related with this. Because whenever you implementing any new system, it's not like what you are using. Maybe right now you are maybe completely a paper-based company. You're using everything is printing all your transaction. When you do a sale, you are printing the sales invoice, maybe more than one copy, one for customer, one for recording. And also you may be using a lot of this kind of paper. Even banks also previously what they do is every transaction immediately an impact printer, a dot matrix printer will be printing this transaction. Even you can these days, if you properly listening to the ATM and all, whenever ATM do any single transaction, this will be printing using a dot matrix printer. Sometimes you can see a small noise from that. It's coding rather than it storing in the electronic media like the hard disk or somewhere. Still, it will be using a kind of paper-based printing method. Why? Because we can't trust on this electronic storage media. If a transaction happen, and if that is only recorded in an electronic storage media like a hard disk or some electronic storage, due to some reason, XYZ reason, maybe it will damage and it's irrecoverable if the hardware fails. So, but if it's a printed matter, like even I'm emphasizing on the dot matrix printing instead of the normal POS machine printing, or using some thermal printing. Thermal printing, the special paper is using. Even that, because of some climate issues, and that also gets spoiled. Even you can experience that when you buying things from any shops or anywhere, the invoice there or the bill they are giving will be last for a few days or months only. After that, it will vanish because of the special material they are using. Okay, so they will use some kind of thing. So these are the important things should be considered, even when you can transforming from the existing system to a new technology. The risks in what are the risks involved in it? Okay, so if the banks are thinking about every transaction, there is a, if they only keeping the latest modern hardware, so, like storage medias and all, if there, so they will be, instead of keeping in one single storage location, they will be replicating the data whenever any customer doing any transaction with a specific any transaction happens, it will be storing to more than one or two or different locations. Okay, so there are many risks involved. So this all will be planning, and we will identify what are the different. That's the first stage. We'll plan accordingly, okay, based on what are the requirements are. Then analyze it. Okay, after planning, they will find out there are a lot of XYZ things to be done. So accordingly, they will analyze it and how we can find a solution, because in different business industries using their sales process or their service delivery in a different way. Everyone is totally different. When you considering, let's say in Karama, they are selling the electricity and water. But when you go into some other, let's say Qatar Petroleum, they are selling fuel. So it's not same way they are doing, because a fuel may be electricity by using some consumption meters, we can measure it. But when you go into the Qatar Petroleum, maybe they are exporting the oils in tankers and other big ships, and also the volume will be different and the management will be different. So those kind of things, they need to find some certain method how they are going to implement their business operations. So this all will come into analyzing stages. Okay, then the third stage comes in design. Now this design will be there are a lot of different types of design aspect they will use, especially the background. I mean, the backend will be designed, the database will be designed, as well as the software techno. I mean, they will be using some flowchart, and they will find out, okay, how we can easily implement the task, as well as in the front end. Front end means the user or the customer is going to use a banking employee, how he is dealing with the customer. So the front end forms and other kind of dashboards, everything will be. So let's assume some companies only using mobile applications, like Talabat is mainly using mobile application, and main of the shopping platforms, they are using mobile applications. Okay, so in that case, the user experience and user interface, the interface, it's more informatic and very easily usable. So there is a design related with that one. So here front end also. So all kind of design aspects considering this stage. Okay, once that is done, then the next stage, this is the coding stage. The coding stage means building the software. So in the building stage, the programmer is mainly involved in it. He is the one who, based on this the design and previous studies and all, he will do the coding for that. And all the maybe a team of developers are there. They will be splitting the whole task into smaller pieces, and individually they are doing each task, and finally they will integrate everything. Once that done means software almost ready. Okay, but still before this going to install or implement in organization, they need to test it. Okay, so there is a testing team behind it. So like each one, the building team and testing team. Okay, when you're considering the developers and testers, they are like enemies each other. Okay, they will act like enemies. The reason is what, a developer always think like, I want to make a perfect software. The tester must not find any fault in this one. But what a tester will think, I need to find some faults and mistakes and some kind of functionality issues in the software. So the both will keep on trying to find this thing. So what's the benefit here? You get a highly or good quality software or a system which doesn't have any kind of faults or backdoors or any kind of other kind of malfunction issues or risk safety things. There are many stages they have to have. Only not only the functionality, even safety, security, everything must be considered while doing the testing and all. Because when based on the business organization may varies. Especially banks and all, especially they are concentrating on safety also, because intruders are not allowed, or hackers, or this kind of especially if something happened in between, and when you're doing some transaction in an ATM. Okay, in the middle of a transaction, already you entered the amount, but the cash doesn't with, I mean, not exited from the drawer. In between, a communication error happen and stops. Okay, what will happen? So this kind of things should be handled in the software itself. Later, maybe there is a rollback option. Rollback means if the transaction is not 100% completely completed, automatically the what are the things to be what are things happen will be rolled back, reversed to the previous state. So nothing will happen to the customer. Otherwise, what will happen? Already the money got he in the bank accounts already debited, and here he not getting any money also. So there are many this kind of issues will happen in that. So testing is very important. So there are different types of testing and all. But anyway, that is the technical terms. Okay, different testing methods and all. But still, you must know that these two part, okay, the build and testing will be equally important because then only uh, the software become a pure quality. You can assure that the standards. The software is for following all the standards and the security measures and all. Okay, once the testers are okay, then it's okay, testers are certified that there's no such issues, or there are minimum issues are acceptable, like a small percentage, okay, that will be usually happening in the software implementation time. So they will allow, and then you can install into the, or you can implement the newly developed software or system into the enterprise or the customer. For this development team, the customer is the enterprise. Okay, so once they are deploying it, also again, this is not a one time. There are different methods they're using. Maybe sometimes they will use some parallel technology. The existing technology also will run, and also new system also will run, and they will doing both at the same time, and gradually they will reduce the old method and migrating to the new method, or whatever they use, more practical way to implement the new system into this one. And okay, once the new system is implemented, and then again we have to do maintenance. So once maintenance stages, like we have to give them training for the employees how to use the software and how the new activities, I mean their day-to-day activities will be done in now the new system. So this will take some time, okay, the implementation stages. Sometimes, if it's based on the size of the system and functionalities, it may varies the time of implementation and so on. One done, implementation done, maintaining. So you have to go through, the functionality and the operations are working smoothly, and also need to do backups and a lot of procedures. And or even it's web-based software, you need to keep on, renewing the hosting plans and domains and whatever, web related or internet related things, and the connectivity all should be maintained well. Then now it's already we explained the 7 steps here, but it never stops in the 7. Actually, we discussed it's this life cycle, right? Again, it will continue because once the implementation is done and everything is going smoothly, only most of the employees and the staffs will start, saying maybe if you adding few more, or maybe if you do some changes in the existing system, it will be more easy for them to use, or maybe more better. So again, there will be another stage will happen for that. Again, the same process will go for that specific change what they are, actually planning for. So this all will be like a continuous process again and again, because systems, keep on changing or modifying time to time in order to uh, add few features. Even you can think about the softwares, Facebook, WhatsApp, and all. It's also some kind of softwares they, some company develop. Okay, so you can see time to time they are adding lot of new features. Okay, so every day they are, or adding different new features. Earlier WhatsApp and all, there was no voice calling and all. Now voice calling, video conferencing, many things are already included like that. Day by day, or time to time, we need to update the softwares. So this, if any updation needed, again those small changes also may be going through all of these processes. Not all of this. Sometimes maybe lesser than this one, because it's not like the uh, from the big starting from the beginning, or starting from zero. Okay, and some of the phases, not and actually happening after one. Maybe there's overlapping also in between some stages. Maybe analysis and design will go through together, or building and testing will go together. Okay, so not only one stage or one step phase will start after completion of another step. Not like that. In some reasons, they will be overlapping also. Together they will do different stages. Okay, So after that, so this is a cycle. Everything is done, then software will be perfect, and this software can be utilized for their day-to-day operations. And so the system. These are the main phases. Okay, so these stages mainly a manager no need to aware of all these stages, but he need to just uh, uh, if you have some information about these stages, this will be better for him, because software developer team or the developer company will say that we need this much time to implement the software, because there will be a timeline they will think, because they need to go through all of this process in order to face some issues later. If not following this specific pattern or this phases, what will happen is, anyone, let's say if somebody asking, I want an accounting software and I want a ERP system in my company, so please develop one. So without doing any of these stages, or without following the stages, maybe in future, or maybe even the implementation time itself, they will feel some kind of issues. As well as, if you migrating from one system to another system, the developers must study what is the existing system, how the data is saved in that system, and also how we can continue. I mean, because if you implementing a system in an existing company, so already there are a lot of data they are saved, and they based on their operations or their previous customers operations and all. It must be directly transferred or migrated to the current system. So it must be an integration functionality or feature must be added to the software, and many things need to be uh, you know followed. Okay. Okay, so that's basically the different stages, phases of the SDLC. Now, end user computing is another important terms used in latest computing era. So what's basically end user computing? Okay, we know that everybody is interested to work from home. Okay, because of this corona and all, it was very flexible and convenient for the employees, because they can take their own time, they can relax, they can do whatever in their home, and also they can work and earn the same salary. So even this already it's happening in many of the companies. There are a lot of remote workers, and also first of all, if this thing to be implemented, this kind of flexibility and freedom mobility for the employees, the software which the company is using also must be supporting all of this kind of virtual environment or the remote access and all. Okay, if a company is using a software which can be accessed only from the organization, inside the organization from their desk, this feature they won't get it. If the mobile users or the employees or some most of the agents and or maybe traveling outside to meet customers, and suddenly they want something to do, they want to raise an invoice, or they have to make a proposal, or they want to check the pricings of the items. Pricing may be changing time to time, and also it will be hard for them in that scenario. That's why this end user computing technology implemented. Okay, here this their entire workspace now utilizing and be available all the time around the globe. Okay, no matter what hardware they are using, maybe they are using laptops, or maybe desktop computer in their desk, or maybe mobiles or tablets, whatever it is. The software which is developed for the system must be compatible with all of this internet, because that each platform is entirely different. Okay, a tablet and a desktop is entirely different, because the hardware specifications are different, operating system will be different. So the infrastructure software or the system must be compatible with all of these devices and the different stages, like when they are working, maybe they are using some kind of VPN connectivity, or maybe some internet access from remotely, or whatever it is of it all. So this is mainly considering here. I will show you a small video to explain this more in detail, the end user computing. Okay, just have a look at this video.
So this Citrix is actually EUC.
Citrix, yeah, Citrix is a virtual environment. Like for example, if your office softwares you want to access them remotely, so
Yes.
directly if you're accessing that software, you don't need to install in your computer using a virtual environment of that or virtual instance of the software using the Citrix platform, and you're accessing from your system. So that means what? You don't need to implement. Let's say if you have 2 3 branches, you don't need to duplicate the entire software system structure in everywhere. Okay, one center is enough. From every other branches, and even the mobile users can directly access the main system and they can use it. Okay, even um, as an example, like say Microsoft Office Excel, one of the software, right? So if the Excel, if all of you knows that if you want to use an Excel, you must have Excel installed in your computer, right? So it's an additional cost. You need to install every computer, even an employee using his own private computer. So there also. So instead of that, in this kind of end user computing, compatibility softwares like Citrix or VMware or whatever it is, there are a lot of technology using that technology, you don't need to install again in the endpoint. Directly they can access from the main server using the virtual systems, okay, virtual platforms. So that's the main idea behind this end user computing. So a centralized computing is an opposite of end user computing. Centralized computing, everything in one central location. So the employee must be there. If they want to access data, they must be in their network and so. But here they are not in their network using internet, okay, mobile internet or broadband internet connectivity, or maybe sometime if you need some encrypted connectivity, you may using VPN, okay, for safety reasons and also security. Here using VPN. So this all will this technology will help the employees to work from anywhere, okay, anywhere they can work, even their vacation time also they can work, or they were traveling, as a part of business meetings and all, they can access their data of these files, and even they can use their application. That's the main advantage of this end user computing. So here, what in this video or this lecture, what I'm going to show you that instead of going through the all the technical aspects of that one, how you can, this will be connected with your day-to-day life, okay, day-to-day life activities and all. Okay, that will be easier for you to understand these terms and all. Okay, any questions?
Okay. No, no, no.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll continue. Next is one of the important and latest technology called artificial intelligence. I hope all of you are aware of this one, right?
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence, okay, especially in robot, because in Qatar also we can find not lot of few of the restaurants, there's some kind of robots are serving the food. I didn't see that one. I heard that. I don't know whether you had an experience with that. Okay, even in many countries, robots are serving the food and all, right? Now robots are everywhere in the manufacturing industry and service industry. You can find even in the surgical, operation theater. You can find robot, not the exact human-based robot, but some machines. Okay, it's a part of machine. Even car manufacturer, you can see the painting parts and all done by the robotic hands. Okay, or manufacturer. Everywhere, this robots are. So robots are mainly running, or using the brain of the robots are made by artificial intelligence. Okay, artificial intelligence is what? It's a kind of man-made intelligence. Okay, the programmers
Or
made it. Yes.
it must be a machine.
No, this is software, a part like in our brain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought like Siri in the
Siri,
iPhone.
Siri. Yes, of
It's
course,
a,
of course. It's
yeah,
software.
kind of artificial
Yeah,
intelligence,
yeah. Siri,
right?
Alexa is there. Okay, you can, because this one completely based on the programming, right? Let's say
Yes,
mostly
yes,
we are playing chess game or any computer game with the computer playing. So let's
yeah,
especially if you take the example of chess game, okay, how the computer
yeah,
is
yeah,
moving.
yeah.
Okay, so already the possible all moves the programmer, already identified, and if you move one step, what will be the next, that already made, right? So he programmed
Yes,
accordingly. It's a very simple example of artificial intelligence. When you go into the
yeah,
Siri, Alexa and all, it's very a huge database. They're using not only the limited what is already this, like using some data analysis, and already they enter. Let's for example weather. We ask him what's the weather. Siri, what's the weather now in Doha, or in right now, what's the time, or you want to book an appointment, Alexa will help you, right? This all not only
yeah,
limited to the existing system, it's already exploring the internet and other database also at the same time. Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
robots
Based on
also, we
whatever it
program.
was.
So
Yeah.
in this case, artificial intelligence still we considering or comparing with the human intelligence is nothing. Okay, artificial intelligence is nothing because we know that God has made us more intelligent. Let's say if you
Yeah.
made a robot can if whatever programs. Let's say if your robot is walking on a specific forest. Okay, coconut tree, right? Coconut tree have
Mm.
big coconuts on top of this. When a coconut falls, maybe the programmer didn't realize that when he's walking over through a forest, if something will fall in his head from the top. So robot doesn't know that. If he already program in that situation, like putting a camera in top of the in a head and scanning any device, any kind of objects falling immediately to move from that place, something like that already added in the software. The robot will move accordingly based on that. Every 360-degree intelligence or surveillance is there. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
this artificial intelligence is used in latest tech, all most of the areas. Okay, even business very well because like the Siri, Alexa, and all is one of the example. Even here we have Cortana in the Microsoft Windows and all. And just have a look at this video. It'll be more easy to understand this technology.
What is artificial intelligence? Before we answer that, let's look at these terms individually. What do you understand by the term artificial? Well, it can be anything that is made by humans, things that are non-natural. And what do you understand by intelligence? It is the ability to understand, think, and learn. So what do we get when we combine these two together? Artificial intelligence is a broad area of computer science that makes machines seem like they have human intelligence. The goal of AI is to mimic the human brain and create systems that can function intelligently and independently. They say that the age of AI is here. But then, you might be wondering, why don't you see flying cars or robotic maids bringing you lunch? Why doesn't your life look more like the Jetsons? Well, for starters, that's a cartoon, and when it comes to AI, a robot is nothing more than a shell concealing what's actually used to power the technology. AI can manifest itself in many different ways. If you have ever asked Alexa to order your food or browse Netflix movie suggestions, you are actually interacting with AI without realizing it. And that's kind of the point. AI is designed so you do not realize that there is a machine calling the shots. In the near future, AI is expected to become a little less artificial and a lot more intelligent. As AI becomes more intelligent, it will obviously take on the role of an intelligent worker. While most of the repetitive and largely time-oriented tasks can be automated using AI, we will still need human experts who can build and maintain these synthetic bots and work on the strategic and creative aspects of a job. So in conclusion, AI is a boon that can help optimize any job. This means that, as always, it's not AI versus humans. Rather, it is a combination of humans and AI versus the actual problem statement. So what are you waiting for? Pull up your socks and get ready to be a part of this AI revolution.
Okay.
Mm.
So hope you got clear picture about artificial intelligence. Okay. Now, do you have any question related with the artificial intelligence? Anybody?
No, no, this is okay.
No, no.
Okay, fine.
That's
I will move to the next key topic, cloud computing. Okay. Okay.
okay.
So we step. It started explaining different technologies. It's also coming as a part of what we explained. A cloud computer. Previously, we explained end user computing, right? End user computing. So people are accessing things from different remotely from their home or their mobility and all. So here, cloud computing, when the latest technology comes, flexible. I mean, it can be accessed from anywhere across the globe. The data you can access, the files you can share. You can do some kind of what do you call collaborations in your work and all. This technology will help you. Even the terms like cloud means what? You don't know where it is actually. When you using a standalone computer or a network computer in your office, you know exactly where your data are stored and what which system you're accessing and all. when you implementing that way in a local system, you need to spend a lot of money on the hardware and software. If you want to store data, you need to purchase database hardwares, okay, and also softwares like Oracle or Microsoft SQL Server and many other softwares need. But instead of that, some you can hire, or we can take some other ones, okay, like the companies which they are already providing services online. You can store your data there. You can access even their systems, okay, like the processing power of your systems. Or then this term will come, cloud computing. So actually the computers and the computing technology, not in the position, we're not in the local location, okay, not in the office environment or somewhere. You are like outsourcing that, okay. So basically we don't know exactly where our data is. Somewhere in with our service provider. The service provider, maybe there are a lot of online service providers available right now, like Google providing, AWS, Amazon providing, okay. So we are instead of we implementing all this hardware and software in our location or in our enterprise, we are utilizing others one is this kind of trusted companies. That's the idea behind this one. Even web-based applications are one of the good example, okay. The applications can be used anywhere, even different platforms or different locations. It's possible. You only need to to have an internet access, high speed internet access, or safe or secure internet access, and some browsers or small front end softwares. Even front end softwares also not come in important. Most of them will run with the different types of browsers, okay. So here without any kind of software installations or additional hardware requirements, you can utilize or you can use your computer system, your day-to-day software using this cloud computing. Also you can store your data, and your data are safe. If you're saving your data in your local infrastructure, maybe there's a chance for losing the data in the case of some hardware failure or some other natural calamities. But when you're going to keep your data in an online storage, like a cloud computing interface, this will be more safer, and it's very safe and secure, okay, because they are already using some high-end security systems and high-end data connectivities, everything. So that's the main idea behind this cloud computing. So it's there's some features like we can store anywhere, and the server hardware compatibilities are very big in this one. Also you can utilities a lot of different applications you can install, and you can utilize it. Okay, just have a look at this video. I hope this will work with this system.
Cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of IT resources via the internet, with pay-as-you-go pricing. Instead of buying, owning, and maintaining physical data centers and servers, you can access technology services such as computing power, storage, and databases on an as-needed basis from a cloud provider like Amazon Web Services. Organizations of every type, size, and industry are using the cloud for a wide variety of use cases, such as data backup, disaster recovery, email, virtual desktops, software development and testing, big data analytics, and customer-facing web applications. For example, healthcare companies are using the cloud to develop more personalized treatments for patients. Financial services companies are using the cloud to power real-time fraud detection and prevention. And video game makers are using the cloud to deliver online games to millions of players around the world. With cloud computing, your business can become more agile, reduce costs, instantly scale, and deploy globally in minutes. Cloud computing gives you instant access to a broad range of technologies, so you can innovate faster and build nearly anything you can imagine. From infrastructure services such as compute, storage, and databases, to Internet of Things, machine learning, data analytics, and much more. You can deploy technology services in a matter of minutes and get from idea to implementation several orders of magnitude faster than before. This gives you the freedom to experiment and test new ideas to differentiate customer experiences and transform your business, such as adding machine learning and intelligence to your applications in order to personalize experiences for your customers and improve their engagement. You don't need to make large upfront investments in hardware and overpay for capacity you don't use. Instead, you can trade capital expense for variable expense and only pay for IT as you consume it. With cloud computing, you access resources from the cloud in real time, as they're needed. You can scale these resources up and down to grow or shrink capacity instantly as your business needs change. Cloud computing also makes it easy to expand to new regions and deploy globally in minutes. For example, Amazon Web Services has infrastructure all over the world, so you're able to deploy your application in multiple physical locations in just a few clicks. Putting applications in closer proximity to end users reduces latency and improves their experience. No matter your location, size, or industry, the cloud frees you from managing infrastructure and data centers so you can focus on what matters most to your business.
So what you understood in this video?
It's the store like in network and global. It is
Yeah.
not in center. It's not
Everything
centralized in one place.
online, implementing online features and services into your business. Okay, so there
Yeah.
are many advantages. In this video only talking about advantages only. Okay, you can scale your business. If you're adding some additional branches or something, you don't need to implement again. It's very easy to expand your branches and operations, and everything is there, like all the features like emails and other data sharing, collaboration, everything, right? So
Yeah.
can you tell some of the drawbacks for this method if you depending very highly on online things?
You don't have a control on your data, or yeah, I mean to say you have access on it, but you
Yeah,
don't have a control about the
of course,
storage
yeah.
or yeah,
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 very good explanation, because the data is with a third party, right? So the
yeah,
third party can also sell your data, right? If there is Data Protection Act and
exactly.
all, but still we don't know what happens to our data, because it's on purely on their hands. Okay, it's based on their security devices. Let's say if they are not stealing, but someone else may be stealing the data from that specific service provider, like AWS. Mostly people are saying AWS is very safe and secure, but still, there is hackers also day by day. They are become more stronger, right? In that case, like the case of WikiLeaks and all. Okay, there are many people are working for this kind of data stealing and information stealing. So this will be very important. And another thing is, like, if you do not have some, let's say, connection issues, internet issues and all, you are completely become and isolated from this, okay, your systems. Okay, one day you came, there is no internet connectivity, you can't access your softwares, and also internet connectivity, your everything is depending on internet connectivity. Okay, so those things will be very risky in this matter. But still, when you comparing the features and the drawbacks, then the advantage will be more. That's why people still
Access,
follow
yeah.
this one. Yeah, especially instead of you are implementing if you're implementing a lot of
Cost saving.
cost saving, basically the hardware and software, like especially
Yeah.
hardware, you have to spend a lot of money on hardware to implement all this. But still, when you're considering that security and safety is important, then you have to spend that on your, let's say, banks and all. They're not going to, I don't think they'll be mostly keeping the data with third parties. So mostly they will be having their own data center in somewhere of their headquarters or somewhere to keep that in their data. But still there will be a connectivity, because there are many people are accessing their banking from online. So there will be some kind of DMZ zone, demilitarized zones. Okay, there whether the outsider can
Mm,
access. Example, let's say the Qatar Airways, the airline ticket booking, right? So already they
mm,
have their own safe system, security system, but still customers are allowed, or the people are allowed to book tickets. So they need to check the availability of tickets. So they also are accessing the main system. So that access not like same an employee of an Qatar Airways accessing this machine. This is a different access. There will be some restricted access only they're giving. Maybe in the middleware, some other agent will be there. First, this request, for example, if I'm looking for a flight ticket, so my query will go to that agent. That agent only deliver that into the database server, and data server return in the result to the agent. The agent will be returning to me. So in between, there will be a like a firewall and a middle, we call DMC systems and all will be used for this one. Not
Mm.
directly a customer or a person can access their database to check whether tickets are available, or even in the case of banking, online banking and all that, because when you're doing online payments and all, the different kind of payment gateways we are using, right? For example, here in Qatar, we know QPay is there, and Sada, so like that, many gateways are there. So each gateway doesn't
Yeah,
have direct
different.
access to this one. So there will be some kind of secure mechanism to safeguard this data protection and all. Okay, so
Yeah,
every technology have
yes.
its own cons and pros, but these days we are not very concerned about the problems. Okay, we are always thinking about the advantages. So, and also this is their what called
Responsibility.
responsibility, the AWS, to keep it safe and more secure the data, and give us more faster delivery. Okay, let's think about this Zoom. Okay, now we are using Zoom right now, and millions of people are using the same software for video conferencing and this kind of online classrooms and all. So now, if they are asking us, like say if you're purchasing a pro plan, they have to give us a proper service, like the faster connectivity, faster very speed delivery of these videos and all, right? But how is possible? So they need to increase their hardware facilities and all, because they need to purchase high speed connection between the server and this the locations and all. So there's a lot of cost is involved with. But if we are implementing such a system, let's say executive want to develop their own training platform like this online kind of things, I don't think this will be not like it will work like the same like Zoom, because Zoom already they spend a lot of money and they have high end platform for that. But when we are developing, there will be some limitations. When we try to in the COVID time, many other softwares where we can purchase completely to implement with us, but most of them are not supporting large number of clients. Maybe 10 students can join at a time, or maximum 20 can join at a time. But Zoom like applications are allowing to many, so we can implement this is like a kind of cloud service. Now Zoom is a cloud service. Okay, similarly
Mm.
in your day-to-day operations of your business, you can use this kind of cloud related one, or some complete ERP cloud solutions also available that will be suitable for 100% users, okay, or requirements. Or majority of your requirement will be completed by based on this 100% with this ERP software, cloud-based ERP softwares. Okay, so this is one
Okay.
of the important technology, cloud computing, very useful for any kind of organizations where you have a high speed internet connectivity. Think about this way: if you don't have you're running a what called an oil refinery or something which in the sea or somewhere, so the internet may be not that much cheaper. You can have a connectivity by using satellite connections or something, but it's not be much cheaper than like what we are getting here, the home broadband or office broadband connectivities. Or if you are running on a 3G or that kind of mobile connectivity only available, this will be not feasible for or maybe not good for them, because they will be keep on experiencing some connection issues in this regard. Okay, so anyway, apart from that, if
Mm.
you are having all this kind of infrastructures available like the connectivity, and you have good computers and all, this will be the best option for cost saving as well as easy collaboration and all. Okay,
Mm.
okay, then we can go with the blockchain. Okay, I
Mhm.
hope this is a new topic, like majority doesn't know about that is what is blockchain and all. Maybe if I'm telling one of the use of blockchain, maybe aware of the Bitcoin, right? Everybody is aware of Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
Bitcoin, right? Instead of the normal bank transfer or electronic fund transfer, we use some kind of it's called cryptocurrency.
Mm.
Uh, Voice is clear, right? Okay. So cryptocurrency. So what behind this cryptocurrency? How it become secure? Those things will be we are going to explain now in cryptocurrency. Let's have a
Ever wonder if there's an easier way to complete transactions without having to deal with online wallets, banks, and third-party applications? Well, it's possible thanks to blockchain. Here's everything you need to know about blockchain. Imagine 4 friends, Jack, Ted, Sam, and Phil, meet up for dinner. After they're done, Jack pays the bill, and all of them decide to split the expense amongst each other. Now, on the next day, when Phil sends his share to Jack via online money transfer, the transaction goes through without a hitch. Then, Ted and Sam send their respective shares to Jack, but their transactions don't go through. The failed transaction cites some issues at the bank. That's when Jack comes to know about the many ways a bank transaction could fail. It could be due to technical issues at the bank, one of their accounts were hacked, daily transfer limits being exceeded, and sometimes additional charges, like transfer charges, associated with transferring money. To solve these problems, the concept of cryptocurrency came into existence. Cryptocurrencies are a form of digital or virtual currency that run on a technology known as blockchain. Thanks to blockchain, cryptocurrencies are immune to counterfeiting, don't require a central authority, and are protected by strong and complex encryption algorithms. And in a market of more than thousands of cryptocurrencies like Litecoin, Ethereum, Zcash, and so on, one reigns supreme: Bitcoin. Now, let's go back to our previous example and have Phil, Ted, and Sam send Jack 2 Bitcoins each as their contribution to the previous night's dinner. Let's assume Phil, Ted, and Sam have 3 Bitcoins in reserve, while Jack has 5. First, Phil sends 2 Bitcoins to Jack. A record is created in the form of a block. The transaction details between them is permanently inscribed in this block. This record also holds the number of Bitcoins each of the friends own. So, after Phil's transaction, Jack has 7 Bitcoins, while Phil has 1. Following this, Sam and Ted send 2 Bitcoins to Jack. A new block is created for each of these transactions. These blocks hold the transaction details as well as how many Bitcoins Sam, Ted, and Jack have in reserve. These blocks are linked to each other, as each of them takes reference from the previous one for the number of Bitcoins each friend owns. This chain of records, or blocks, is called a ledger, and this ledger is shared among all the friends, which acts as a public distributed ledger. This forms the basis of blockchain. So, what happens when Phil has only 1 Bitcoin left, and he tries to send 2 more Bitcoins to Jack? The transaction will not go through. This is because all his friends have copies of the ledger, and it's clear that Phil has only 1 Bitcoin left. His friends will flag this transaction as invalid. A hacker will not be able to alter the data in the blockchain because each user has a copy of the ledger. The data within the blocks are encrypted by complex algorithms. All of this is made possible with the help of blockchain technology. Blockchain can be described as a collection of records linked with each other, strongly resistant to alteration, and protected using cryptography. Now, let's have a closer look at the Bitcoin transaction between Jack and Phil and find out how it works. Every user in the Bitcoin network has 2 keys, a public key and a private key. The public key is an address that everyone in the network knows of, like an email address of a user. The private key is a unique address that only the user has knowledge of, something like a password. First, Phil passes the number of Bitcoins he wants to send to Jack, along with his and Jack's unique wallet address through a hashing algorithm. All of this is part of the transaction details. These details are encrypted using encryption algorithms and using Phil's unique private key. This is done to digitally sign the transaction and to indicate that the transactions came from Phil. This output is now transmitted across the world using Jack's public key. With this, the message or transaction can be decrypted only by Jack's private key, which only Jack has knowledge of. Different cryptocurrencies use different hashing algorithms. While Bitcoin uses the SHA-256 algorithm, Ethereum, which is also a famous cryptocurrency, uses one known as Ethash. This transaction and several other similar ones are taking place all around the world. These transactions are validated and then added block by block. The people who validate these blocks are called miners. For a block to be validated and added to a blockchain, miners need to solve a complex mathematical problem. The miner who solves this first adds the block to the blockchain and is rewarded with 12.5 bitcoins. The process of solving the complex mathematical problem is called proof of work, and the process of adding a block to the blockchain is called mining. With this, Phil and Jack's wallets are updated, just like every person in the network who has completed a transaction. Now that you know about blockchain and its important concepts, time for a small quiz. What is the concept of blockchain that ensures data cannot be altered by any of the users within the network? A. Public distributed ledger. B. Proof of work. C. Proof of stake. D. Hash encryption. Let us know what you think is the right answer in the comments below. 3 lucky winners will get Amazon gift vouchers. Details are mentioned in the description below. Let's have a look at how Walmart uses blockchain to provide its customers with better service. Walmart was facing problems in delivering quality products to its customers. They were facing a high return rate and large amounts of refunds due to their products' bad quality. They were unable to determine the point of failure in the supply chain, which started from farm to storage to transportation to processing all the way to the customer. Then, Walmart adopted blockchain technology. With blockchain, the quality of the goods at each step was permanently inscribed within a block. For example, when a customer flags a product as damaged, it can be correctly identified where the product got damaged in the entire supply chain, thus helping Walmart to identify the problem areas and fixing them. And this is just one of several ways blockchain is used in real-life applications. Can you think of any others?
So look at this screen. You can see the 4 main aspects of blockchain. Okay, it's a collection of records linked with each other, strongly resistant to alteration, and using it's already used cryptography. Okay, so here we are comparing, or we are explaining about blockchain in the case of cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. Okay, similarly, any confidential information you want to transfer, then this blockchain technology can be implemented that for that reason, because it's highly safe, and everybody knows about everything like this linked with each other, and nobody can tamper. For example, nowadays all the transactions happening our internet, right? So in internet, when we are transferring something from one place to the destination, there are many person can see that, can see or can access that data. But if they are, let's say if you're sending an email, in middle somewhere a hacker can access your email, and if he can see, it's the confidentiality will lose, right? So here also, in the case of distributed ledger, these main 4 important features will allow the distributed ledger as safe and secure. Nobody can hack it, or nobody can tamper it. Okay, it's very high-end cryptography is involved in it, and also this contains all the information. So because of that, information is already linked with all, nobody can cheat using this technology. That's the main. So these 2, private key and public key. Okay, these 2 things is mainly used in cryptography, or we call encryption. Okay, if you encrypting something, this will be closed. For example, if you are sending a parcel to one of your friend, okay, you in a box, in a wooden box, having a lock, what you can say, padlock. Once you close the padlock and sending the parcel with a courier company like DHL or something, okay, so nobody can open it. Even the courier guy, the parcel team, nobody can open, because they don't have that key for that. The key you sending to the destination, your friend, separately in another parcel or another way you're sending. Already you giving a common key for them. This is the key for all of my parcel you can open, something like that. So this is the idea behind this encryption technology. There will be a public key and a private key. Private key is used to only the person who can access that data. Okay. So hope you got, this is the technology, latest technology used in transfer things confidentially and securely. Okay, so anything which is required more secure, we can implement this blockchain technology. So they're using a high-end encryption, and nobody can tamper the data which is sending across, and also it's distributed, so everybody is aware of that. Means the sending party and the receiving party will be aware of that. what are the details of that one. So like a distributed ledger. Usually we use a ledger in accounting. We use only that company is using. Here the ledger copy is updated. Like you're doing a Google Sheet. Okay, when you do shared Google Sheet, when you're entering something, immediately the other party is already collaborating can see this one. Similarly, it's a kind of distributed, but it's a confidential. So highly secure and confidential, but easily used in this kind of communications and transfers of financial fund transfer and all. So Bitcoin is utilized in this one. Similarly, if any other technology can also can utilize this blockchain technology. Okay, so don't confuse with the blockchain and Bitcoin or any cryptocurrencies. Okay, cryptocurrencies following this technology. That's why it's almost easy to understand that this technology, the blockchain and cryptography. Okay, any questions from your side? It's fine, right? Still, because this is not, even the Bitcoin, I don't think people are more widely used in Qatar and all, right? Some countries this is banned as well, using Bitcoin and all, because yes,
I don't believe with it. No, it's okay. In Dubai, they made ATM. You can change bitcoins with dollars or
yeah,
cash.
yes, Dubai, because they're mainly depending on the business and tourism, right? Think this way, because there is no record with the government when you're dealing something with Bitcoin. Only the buyer and sender knows. In the middleware, nobody can understand because it's highly secret and confidential, and there is no such bank records or anything. So this technology or this Bitcoin can be used for illegal activities or terrorism or something. That's why majority of the countries are not allowing this Bitcoin transactions. Even the virus, like what we I think previous year there was a virus. This virus, what they're doing is the virus will encrypt your data. Okay, so suddenly one day, if you open your computer, your data, your files are unable to access. They will show a message that if you want to get the decryptor, you pay some amount in Bitcoin. Okay, because why they are asking Bitcoin? If they're providing their bank details, easily the police can catch them. So through Bitcoin way, if you are transferring something, nobody can identify who is the person who receiving the Bitcoin and all. That's why. So this is the reason why major countries they are not allowing Bitcoin transactions. It's highly confidential. So if using Bitcoin, forget about Bitcoin. This technology is very good, and you can utilize this for some other areas. Okay, where we need more confidentiality and security.
No, but government will lose on such.
Okay, so that's why financial. Forget about financial things. Let's say if you want to share some other kind of your connectivity between two companies or between the what you call collaboration and all. If you need highly confidential collaborations and all, then you can implement this too. Not only for this currency-based activities. Not just data analytics. I hope you may be aware of analytics, data analytics and all. This even Google was implemented analytics very long back. Okay, what they do is the simplest way. Where if you have a website, if you added this website into Google Analytics service, they will keep on monitoring your website. Who all are coming? What are their age? What are the demography? And how much time they are spending? Which page they are visiting more? Because look at this scenario. Let's assume you have a website, your company have a website, and you must know that whether your company website is what you call working well or people are using it. Okay, so how do you know that? Normally, we know when we are accessing only, we know that this is we are accessing. We don't know who all are already accessed, who all are from different part of the world, how many people accessed, and how many, what are their ages and their demographics. Nothing we don't know. So somebody is keep on monitoring every time somebody visiting your website. They are keep on monitoring and they're tracking and they're recording it. Okay. So who is doing that? If you, as I told you, Google Analytics service, one of the example, just to explain you very easily. So Google Analytics service is doing this, activity every time. They will be keep on tracking the every, data transfer between your website and other customers, the visitors. Okay, so they knows that who is accessed. Because maybe if they can easily understand from where, based on the IP address directory, they can understand from which location of the world. But what about whether this is accessed by a male or a female or an age of something like that, this will be more confidential, right? Nobody is showing their age or something when you're visiting. But how they know? This is again coming to all of the technology, because now Google have their technology like Google browser, they have Google Chrome, and also Google Chrome using the synchronization option. So whenever synchronizing, you need to use a Gmail account there. So let's say if I am using my computer, I always use my Google Chrome. My Google Chrome is logged in with my Gmail account. So in my Chrome, if I am browsing some website, Google knows that this Shajid is browsing that one. Shajid already, while I'm making my email address, I already explained that I am 40-year-old and I am from this, that this is my address, this is my phone number, and blah, blah. So whole information already with Google. So Google just want to record it. Now, execute a website accessed by Shajid. He is a 40-year-old. Okay, don't tell anybody. 40-year-old, and he's a male, and he's accessed from Qatar. Those information is recorded. Similarly,
I believe Netflix is the first one who uses this.
okay, fine. Anyway, so this way, the data analytics will be more majority of the companies utilizing. Okay, this is be for them. They can utilize for anything like marketing, improve their products. Quality and all, you can utilize this one, because nowadays everything is depending on data. By the way, when you're talking about data, it's like some facts and figures. It's like meaningless information. Okay, something or some kind of, let's say, voice. Okay, there's nothing, can be anything. But this meaningless or sometimes you call valueless thing become more valuable for some people when they start gathering or achieving or capturing it and processing it. This become more valuable for them in order to improve their sales or improve their customer satisfaction and all. So that's why data analytics is important. For example, in the case of executor website, we found that majority of the visitors are from Russia. So what we can think, this is not, no, the website is not properly helping us, because if we are getting some information from Google that majority from Qatar only, and an age between 18 to 25 or 40, 30 years, then we can, okay, there are a lot of students and young people are visiting your website or Facebook or whatever it is. Okay, so this is the idea behind this analytics. Okay, and analyze the data and getting information. So there are many technologies using this. Is just only one.
What is data
Technology.
analytics? Let's understand data analytics with an example. Come with me. I will take you to 90s.
This machine also.
Do you have wheat bread?
I will just go and check. Sorry, sir. It's finished. Oh shit. I forgot to get extra bread stock for weekend. Please, sir, can you come tomorrow morning?
I will buy from someone else.
I wish I could remember. Now will he come to my store again?
Now let us come back to 21st century.
Hey, I need wheat bread.
Miss, can you check?
Sir, you can take the bread from row 2, rack 4 and slab 1.
Thank you. Can you please bill all this? Also, I have a question in mind. How can you remember so many things?
It is not me, sir. It is the machine that is doing all this. It gives me all the information whenever I ask anything, like my current stock, price of items and other things.
That is cool.
Data analytics has helped me a lot.
So earlier decisions which were made by instincts are now backed by historical data captured. Data analytics had made everyone's life simpler because of automated decision making. In day-to-day life it is helping us in many ways. There are 3 types of data analytics. First, descriptive. For example, creating sales dashboards and tracking performance of products. But they do not tell us why change happened or what will happen in future. So next we have predictive, where utilizing historical data, predict which will help in making more profit. Or which customers should be shown advertisement on social media platform. Or finding out the appropriate launch date for a movie to get maximum customers. Third we have prescriptive, like how much discount to offer on different items. or which platform to use for engaging customers, and also what content to showcase. So, data analytics is not only the buzzword, but actually has its important in finding insights and making decisions to ease our life.
Okay.
Mm.
So any
Okay.
kind of data they are analyzing, and finally this will be utilized for different kind of decision making and business operations, including the systems they are mainly utilizing this data. Next is data mining. I think this word came in the blockchain area also, like they are mining.
Yeah, it's mining.
Okay. Yeah, especially if a large amount of data is there, it's very hard to handle. Okay, so this data mining software technology or data mining technology will help us to dive into the data and get some information out of that. In the data may contains, as I told you, different varieties of things. It may be some of them are meaningful, some of them are valuable for some other business. Not all that kind of data are not valuable for everybody. So we need to identify which will be valuable for that, or which can be utilized for which purpose, and those kind of things will be data. Can be utilized. The main idea behind this data mining. So a large volume of data, data. We will come to another things called big data that I will explain more. In the data mining, is already data is there. Okay, every day. Let's say today, one single day. Even in my case, I used many times Google for searching many things, and YouTube I used, and many, even Facebook also, and social media, all other platforms I use. So these all activities now, I'm thinking like nobody knows this. Okay, only me knows. Only I did it, and this was very confidential. But this Facebook, Google, everybody is tracking this, what I did it, and all day they're saving. So what is the advantage of that? This information for them? Okay, like before we told, this data can be utilized for for someone this is not valuable, but some others it's valuable. And let's say I'm searching where I can buy an iPhone. Okay, this is my search query. So that time Google is showing based on the Google also have some paid ads inside that will show in the beginning and shows other things. And also now currently everybody is searching for a specific thing. What currently the trend in this Qatar market is for that particular product. So accordingly, this other product vendors also can do marketing and this one. So this all the data is very important because of this all what you call benefits. Fine. So now there is data. How you can get the data? Okay, that means like a mountain or a forest of data or a sea of data, but you need to go and catch the fish from the sea. Similarly, so the data mining process will help you to catch that information from the data.
Based on what? Data mining. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just to hear about it regarding this mining to get Bitcoin and,
okay.
And crypto. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But what data mining mean itself?
Actually, look, in Bitcoin case, in the cryptocurrency, it's confidential. It's everywhere, right? But need to find out what Bitcoin, the details about the Bitcoins and all cannot be done by specific software. So especially developed software only can grab this information from around the globe and can, because in the next example, there are 4 people, right? It's not mandatory that 4 people are same place. Example, if I'm from here in Qatar, I can transfer some Bitcoin to some other's account, other Bitcoin account, and also this can be anywhere across the globe. So how they can identify, and they need to keep on updating. Now when I'm giving 2 Bitcoin from my account, it must be reduced by 2, and giving the senders, I mean the receivers, Bitcoin numbers will be increased. Okay, so this kind of transaction will be before that they need to identify where it is, and they need to find out what are the ledgers, the distributed ledgers are used inside, because they are using blockchain for that. That's why that time Bitcoin using a data mining to grab the information from the confidential resources. Similarly, data mining not only utilized for Bitcoin. These are common techniques used in finding the data. Let's have a look at this.
This is why.
What is data mining? A technology to enable data exploration, data analysis and data visualization of very large databases at a high level of abstraction. What is the purpose of data mining? Data mining helps analysts to recognize significant facts, relationships, trends, patterns which might go unnoticed otherwise. Why data mining is needed? Too much data and too little information. There is a need to extract useful information from the data and to interpret the data. What are the data mining tools? Oracle Data Mining, Orange, IBM, Teradata, RapidMiner. Where data mining is applicable. In banks, data mining is used for fraud detection. By analyzing past transactions that were later determined to be fraudulent, banks can identify patterns. Card marketing by identifying customers segment card issuers and improved profitability with more effective acquisition. Cardholder and profitability card issuers can take advantage of data mining technology to price their product and maximize their profit. Predictive lifecycle management data mining help bank to predict each customer's lifetime value and to provide service to each segment. In telecommunication, data mining is used for call detail record analysis by identifying customer similar used patterns. Company can develop attractive pricing and feature promotion. Customer loyalty data mining help to identify the characteristic of customer who are likely to remain loyal. Upselling in data mining. Upselling is used to encourage customer purchase. Cross-selling in data mining. Cross-selling is a strategy that pushes new products to current customers based on their past purchases. In retail, data mining is used for performing basket analysis. To know which item customer tend to purchase together. This can improve stocking and promotion. Sales forecasting is used for forecast the sale, like if a customer purchases an item today, when are they likely to purchase a complementary item. Database marketing can develop profile of customers with certain behavior. Merchandise planning and allocation is used to improve merchandise planning and allocation by examining pattern in stores with similar demographic characteristics.
You got it, right? So we have a lot of data everywhere. Okay, when many of the business their everyday transactions also available in their database and all. Through that one, you can analyze the data. So this software will help us to go through this data, a large volume of data. They can analyze and gives you some kind of information in a dashboard and all. So if you're getting the data alone, it's very hard to identify things and all. But when this kind of data mining software is been using, it's easy because it's already giving you like a infographics or some kind of dashboard where we can easily some kind of graphical way they will explain things, so you can easily understand those things. Okay, so like we discussed here, banking, telecommunication, retail, everywhere this will be helpful. Not only these three different area, there are many other areas also data mining is used. The next topic is big data. Hope you have some idea about big data, right? Simple, the word big and data, right? The big means what? It's huge in size. Look at the picture here itself. There are a lot of people are, in their everyday life, they're accessing data. Different kind of online services. Especially here, you can see hospitals, people are industry, then people are using in the park there, or even in shopping, or everywhere we are using internet and different kind of online technology. So every time, seconds, we are doing many online activities, and those all are producing a lot of data. Okay, so same thing like what we discussed in the data mining. Here also the amount of data is very huge in size, because every second it's accumulating. This software, the service providers are tracking, they are recording it on some certain database. This is this technology or this big data term came very recently only. The reason was earlier the storage was very costly. In olden days, when you're going to purchase the flash drive also, it was in the market you can see 1 GB or 2 GB, 4 GB only maximum. Now you can see 256 GB flash drives available. When you consider the storage of hard disk also, you will get 2 tera, 4 tera hard disk and all in the market available. That means what? The cost of the storage becomes very cheaper. So that's why these companies are storing everything, unwanted information or wanted information, whatever it is, whatever comes, they are storing and keeping. Okay, so all this information with the different service providers are keeping this information, or we call it keeping the data. We cannot call them as information unless it's a meaningful, because this is a different variety, different categories of things are saved inside. And so the big data is for that. Maybe there are many meaningful data. There is structured data. Structure means some specific order, like a table. When you're creating a table headers are almost for all the record the same, like serial number, particulars, debit amount, credit amount, like that. So every record follows the same pattern. That's a structured data. If something else will be, if I'm searching something, it's not a structured data, because I can type my own way. So it may be someone else only typing a few words only and typing the search. So similarly, these service providers, especially those who are storing this data, have large collection of data. Now, this data again is some value. This gives some value for some operators, like some business organizations, and even this kind of technology giants and all. It will utilize them. Especially Google is utilizing for their marketing, because now majority is utilizing Google AdWords and Google YouTube advertising and many things. So Google can understand who wants what, and what are the potential customers, or who become a potential customer for a particular item and all, because of analyzing this large amount of data. Okay, so that's why this term came, big data, and this is not be examined or analyzed by normal computers also, because of the it's a volume, the size of the data. Okay, very high data. So a special mechanism of hardware and software to be used to dig in or to mine the data of especially this one. So then especially there is a Linux platform or Linux application package called Hadoop. That is one of the important and very popular software which is used to explore this big data and to get valuable information. So basically this is like a trash, okay, like a trash bin. Everything is all the trash bin also sometimes contains good items and bad items. Similarly, the same is collection of data in large volume, and it's increasing very when it contains different types, means there is something meaningful, meaningless, structured, unstructured, and valueless, everything inside. Okay, then some kind of mechanism used to analyze this one and utilizing the meaningful and valuable things to others. So some of them will be valuable for some people, not all this will be valuable for everybody. So that's the idea behind this big data. Hope I have a video for that as well.
We all use smartphones, but have you ever wondered how much data it generates in the form of texts, phone calls, emails, photos, videos, searches, and music? Approximately 40 exabytes of data gets generated every month by a single smartphone user. Now, imagine this number multiplied by 5 billion smartphone users. That's a lot for our mind to even process, isn't it? In fact, this amount of data is quite a lot for traditional computing systems to handle. And this massive amount of data is what we term as big data. Let's have a look at the data generated per minute on the internet. 2.1 million snaps are shared on Snapchat. 3.8 million search queries are made on Google. 1 million people log on to Facebook. 4.5 million videos are watched on YouTube. 188 million emails are sent. That's a lot of data. So, how do you classify any data as big data? This is possible with the concept of 5 V's: volume, velocity, variety, veracity, and value. Let us understand this with an example from the healthcare industry. Hospitals and clinics across the world generate massive volumes of data. 2,314 exabytes of data are collected annually in the form of patient records and test results. All this data is generated at a very high speed, which attributes to the velocity of big data. Variety refers to the various data types, such as structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. Examples include Excel records, log files, and X-ray images. Accuracy and trustworthiness of the generated data is termed as veracity. Analyzing all this data will benefit the medical sector by enabling faster disease detection, better treatment, and reduced cost. This is known as the value of big data. But how do we store and process this big data? To do this job, we have various frameworks such as Cassandra, Hadoop, and Spark. Let us take Hadoop as an example and see how Hadoop stores and processes big data.
Hadoop uses a distributed file system known as Hadoop Distributed File System to store big data. If you have a huge file, your file will be broken down into smaller chunks and stored in various machines. Not only that, when you break the file, you also make copies of it, which goes into different nodes. This way, you store your big data in a distributed way and make sure that even if one machine fails, your data is safe on another. MapReduce technique is used to process big data. A lengthy task A is broken into smaller tasks, B, C, and D. Now, instead of one machine, 3 machines take up each task and complete it in a parallel fashion and assemble the results at the end. Thanks to this, the processing becomes easy and fast. This is known as parallel processing. Now that we have stored and processed our big data, we can analyze this data for numerous applications. In games like Halo 3 and Call of Duty, designers analyze user data to understand at which stage most of the users pause, restart, or quit playing. This insight can help them rework on the storyline of the game and improve the user experience, which in turn reduces the customer churn rate. Similarly, big data also helped with disaster management during Hurricane Sandy in 2012. It was used to gain a better understanding of the storm's effect on the east coast of the U.S., and necessary measures were taken. It could predict the hurricane's landfall 5 days in advance, which wasn't possible earlier. These are some of the clear indications of how valuable big data can be once it is accurately processed and analyzed.
Okay, so regarding big data, there are 5 V's. Okay, 5 V's are explaining about big data. First of all, the amount of data, that is the volume. The V stands for volume. First V stands for volume, because especially every seconds, millions and billions of data is accumulating. People are searching, people are watching videos, sharing stories in Facebook and other areas. So the data will be even considering the healthcare, banking system, everywhere, millions of transactions happening in every seconds. Okay, and this second V, velocity, stands for the speed, how fast it is. First thing is the size, the amount of data. Second would be the how fast is this data is stored in there, or data is generated. Okay, because as I told you, every second many people are using, so it will be very fast. Data is generated and stored in many different data storages. When you come into the type of data, different varieties are data, like structured data, semi-structured, or not structured, like that, because some of the information are very clearly following some formats. Some of them are not following specific formats. So if formatted data are mostly structured, and if they are not following any kind of formats, will be called as unstructured or semi-structured. Then the authenticity of data, because this many data coming from different sources, right? So how you can trust the data. So veracity is especially the authenticity of the data. Will be explaining about that veracity. Then value, as I explained you already, the value based on the user. Okay, who is going to use the data? For them, it's some of the data will be value for one specific industry or specific user, but that value data may be not value for other. So similarly, it's depends on who is going to use what kind of data and so on. So these are the 5 V's usually when you talking or explain about big data. It is very important. So 5 V's: volume, velocity, variety, veracity, and value. Value is the monetary value for this data. Initially, if this nothing will happen, let's say if somebody notes even Google is not recording your searches and all, nothing will happen, right? Google is just giving answer for your query, that's over. But if they're keeping storing that what I'm searching this one, so initially we will never feel anything, but later there's a specific page called Google Trends. When you check in the Google Trends, you can see in every country, every city, what are the top trending searches and all, just for an example of this usage of big data. And even previously I explained one thing called the analytics. In analytics, I told you one topic called the website visitors. Okay, who all are visiting our website. So let's say a web page, even in Qatar, we have like high traffic website like MOI website, the Qatar Living, and some classified website and newspaper websites and all. Majority is watching. So if they are analyzing, they can see who all are the people watch. So every time, whenever somebody visiting website or somebody searching for something or somebody doing some activity on it, everything it gets stored, and this information. Earlier, we will think like this, like unwanted activity, storing all this kind of junk data in somewhere. But later, some people they will start recycling this data and they will utilize for their purposes. Maybe that's for improving the customer satisfaction or finding new products or finding new different utilities. This data can be used. Okay, so that's a very important data. And also, this video explained that there are a few special hardware and software mechanism using to examine this data. Especially the important one is called Hadoop. Okay, so this is what about big data. Next topic. Any question on big data? Do you have any doubt? Anybody have any doubts? Huh? Okay, so let's have the final part in this my video, the data visualization. In the screen itself, we can see visualize data. So when data, when you're talking about data, all this time, it's like data look like a garbage. It's storing everything, each and everything, structured, non-structured, valuable, non-valuable, with high speed data. So once these are coming back to us as information, especially managers need all this information to on their decision making, right? For this kind of data, if you convert it into information, you can represent it or you can represent it in the way of reports and all. So when the data is presenting in a meaningful or maybe an attractive way of pictorial way using charts, graphs, and this kind of infographics and all, it's very easy to understand, and you can easily take decision based on this one rather than just making essays, just not only or making a complex tables and all. So this is the idea behind data visualization, visualizing and picturizing the data. Okay, so easily we can understand, we can easily take action on the data. Other no need to keep on reading everything completely. You need to analyze that nothing is required. Easily you can understand and take action on that visualization. So basically, these days there are a lot of softwares available. Even this Excel and other kind of tools also having visualizing techniques and all. So anyway, using different types of charts, graphs, and other kind of representation utilized here. Some of the softwares like Adobe Premiere and all you can utilize for this one. Okay, making video visualization or even pictoring pictures only like photos or something also possible. Let's have a look at this video. Another video for this visualization. An example only. Using Adobe Premiere and After Effects. Look at this. So hope you got an idea about how the data can be visualized in a different way. So look, these days, because of the corona, I think in most of the medias, they are properly visualizing the charts and graphs of corona infections and the recoveries, death and all in a graphical way using different methods, right? It's very easy to us to understand how many deaths or how many people got recovered in different locations of the world and other things and all. So if they are making a complete in a table only, it's very hard to identify or hard to analyze those things. If it's in a charts and graphs way, it will be easy. So that's why data visualization is very important. Even in the business, managers needed the data, the information in a graphical way, so that easily they can understand. No need to spend a lot of time on going through the reading all the paragraphs and all. It's very within a seconds they can easily get a snap of every information to be represented or represented by the management accountant or somebody. So here, as a part of the business, this is very very important. Not only business, even everyday life also we will be going through a lot of informations like this, visualize data. And for visualizing, you can utilize many ways. Otherwise, even you can few drawings also possible, or there are softwares which can utilize for video-based graphic data visualization, or simply picture-based or graphical, tools also available. There are online tools which is animated one will be better. Like just I show you a video. That video contains many of the visualization are animated. So the graphs are the chart bars are increasing and decreasing, and then all the circles are rotating. So it's like gives more visual effect. Okay, gives some rich live effect for visualized or video based data visualization. Okay, so uh, any doubts, any questions, data visualization?
Thank
Okay, I will
you.
share this video, because most of the topics already explained in the video itself. So that will be, if you want to refer, that will be helpful for you. So any
Yeah,
generally,
definitely.
uh
The-
so
Uh,
yes,
generally,
uh
generally. Okay, I'm trying to, recap all what
Mhm.
we talked about.
Okay.
Uh, and then,
If anything,
as of now,
needed, you will just inform Mr. Dilnavas. Okay, I can just note those topics and I can make an explanation, because here I was very busy. That's why I didn't get good time to do more exploration on these areas. Because generally, these all are theory based, completely theory based one.
Yeah.
Practical is very easy, because
yeah,
theory things are it's very hard. No, this is not suitable for everybody, especially this big data and all. Technology wise, there are a lot of things behind it. All the topics what we discovered or what we explained today contains a lot of things, but still when you're going for practical based role, it will be more easy to understand and all. So anyway, I hope
yes,
I explained well. If you need something, just let me know. Again, I can explain in another session, because I even this majority of technologies are very very latest, and we are not using in our everyone's everyday life. But some people, this is related with some people, as I told you, data mining and all, not we are not doing, but the technologies, the software developers and others are especially doing in their everyday activities. Okay, so
I
let
want
me know.
to
Yes,
question,
yes.
yes, about this data management and analytics.
Okay.
Uh, in the book they are referring to, there are quite a lot of tools available for doing this, like SQL and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah, yeah, especially SQL servers are, the database servers using a structured query language. So if you're asking a special query to that specific database, it will return it. So let's say how many people are staying in a specific location in Nuaija. So in the database, there will be a residence location stored inside. So based on that criteria, this database software is retrieving the data and showing you. And again, if you're asking some more detail, how many males are living in Nuaija. So it's again the same query, again filtered another level, third level, fourth level. Like you can have age between 20 and 40 males living in Nuaija,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something related. So this structured query language easily, like general English, we can ask question to the database. Database will return the results if it's available in the database. Okay. So
my question was
hmm.
actually for this data management and analytics. Is there like any certifications available to do, or like how like
Oh
the for
yes, of course. In now the majority of this latest trends, technology certifications are available. Especially many of the certification is with Google. Okay,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
if something like Google have certification, even AWS, the Amazon Web Service, they have technology certification programs, separate syllabus. You have to follow that one, and they will give you the materials and for that, and online PSW
Sam,
based
there is a lot of, yeah, there is a
certifications
lot
are
of
available.
school
Yeah.
now sharing this online course
Mhm.
6 week.
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
are interested for that. It's almost every day. So on Instagram and Facebook, you'll find advertising a different school in UK and US. Both of them they have school giving this kind of online courses and certificate, of course.
Yeah,
If you are
exactly.
looking for
Because
analysis.
this kind of data, analytics can be utilized for many reason areas of the everyday life or
Yeah.
even business industries and all, for some many reasons. I explained you, like mainly customer performance, customer satisfaction, or to improve the quality of the products or to retain your customer. Like proactively we can act, like before the customer coming and saying, we can inform them, because we are keep on tracking them by analyzing their data and all. We know that what are their interest, what they are looking for and all. Even let's say, for example, one Toyota customer is now, he is not satisfied with Toyota, and he starts searching in the Google something like Kia or some different company, Nissan or something like that. This Toyota can identify this one. This customer start thinking differently. So immediately he can check with the customer, what is your issues, why you are disappointed with our performance or our products and all. They can act, and they can rectify these issues, and they can retain the customer. It's a simple example. So similarly, everywhere they can. So that's why it is very important, and many people are interested, and they are coming to this field in the data analytics, data mining, the big data. There are many certifications. Even Hadoop providing some certification for big data management and all. The Hadoop is one of the certification available with the Pearson View. Okay, so you just need to pass the examination.
Azure?
Hadoop. In the video you saw, right? There are three main. I'll show you three main technology used in data, big data. Cassandra, Hadoop, and Spark. These are the main. Even Hadoop is, I think, most popular one in this data management, big data management. Got it, right? Okay, that's why Hadoop also giving some certification. So Hadoop certified data miner, like that. Okay, there are some courses like. So you have to follow their syllabus and go through that one. I don't think this will be suitable for everybody. You just this is like a very wide, different area. So if you are completely working on that area only, you need to go for the certification for that, as a data analyst or a data mining agent or something like that. Apart from that, I don't think this would be waste of money for because certification, you have to pay exam fees and all, right? And also spend a lot of time to get certified. What else? So we can wind up for today's session, right?
Yes.
Okay, hope you enjoyed. And if you have any
Yeah.
doubts, let me know. I can explain another session.
Thank
Okay,
you.
we'll meet you later.
Thank you.
Inshallah.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Assalamu alaikum.
Very, very much. It was